Anne Francisco said to talk about an information full combo, a sensory ethnography of information
I don't know
experience
what
of
I'm
pumping.
doing. Hi. Hello. So I thought like an ideathon was like you're just gonna present an idea like vibes. I didn't.
You can still do it.
So this, as you can see, my slides aren't as formal, so I hope it's fine. So, so okay, let's just go with vibes. Okay, so I noticed that LAS usually talks about like documentary information. So it's like written down. It's like it exists. It's like files, records, books, and it's usually like library centric. Like oh, what new tech, blah blah blah. And it's usually surveys to users like Google Forms. And next slide, you can see na, English, right. So, so, like, what if I did something different? I want to do something fun. What if I talked about, like, emotions, like sensations? Maybe not surveys, maybe interviews or, like, observation. Instead of studying other people, why don't I study myself? Yeah, let's flip it on its head. What if it's, like, fleeting, not easily recorded things, like things you feel? Oh, vibes. And what if it's outside the library? Like, what if it's not a problem? What if it's just something fun, like a hobby? Next slide, please. So I'm going to focus on these three things because you noticed there was a lot going on in the previous slide. So let's start with the first thing, which is, next slide, please. So joyful information. What sparks joy? Next slide, please. So there's this thing called everyday life information seeking, but it just made me sad. Like, why is it about death, illness, your house burned down? Why not happy things? So I think that's a gap, or maybe I just want to write about fun stuff. It's a gap, right? So if we go to the next slide, you're going to see part two. Okay, second part, sensations. So there's this thing called information experience, which is like the lived felt way that we make meaning of information. But that's kind of hard to like explain, right? Parang, oh my gosh, English. It's like, it's fleeting. It's hard to explain. If you put it in a Google form, hey, can you explain what it feels like? It's gonna be hard, right? So if we go to the next slide, I figured out that, oh, what if it's my own lived experience? Ooh, autoethnography is a research method where you use your lived experience and your insights, and yeah, that's how it works. So it's suited to the study of hobbies and things personally meaningful to me. So my experience turns into insights, so and so. So in the next slide, we can see that, yay, it's me. Hi, guys. So MSLIS second year from UP Diliman. I love playing games at the arcade. That's my hobby. So why not study something fun? And by also, if I find it fun, maybe other people find it fun too, and we learn from that. So in the next slide, you will see my goal. So my goal is to use autoethnography as an approach to capture information experiences and specifically leisure activities, because my idea, I want it to be fun. So I'm going to use one of my own personally meaningful leisure activities as a case study, and specifically I want to focus on embodied information because it's usually like documentary information, things that you read, see, hear. But what if it's vibes? What if it's what you feel? So in the next slide, you'll see, so this is my idea, an information full combo based on the game. So it's a sensory autoethnography of the information experience of Pump It Up. So it's a game. Those are my feet. I'm very slow. That's my account over there. So if we go to the next slide, you can see, so there are different types of leisure, but I'm going to focus on casual leisure and serious leisure. So casual leisure is like you do it for fun. It's like immediately pleasurable. Like, see that croissant? It just went down, right? So it's immediately rewarding. It's short-lived, like that piece of bread. It's pleasurable, as you can see from my face, and it requires little to no training in order to enjoy it. I mean, you just chew and swallow, right? But serious leisure, if you're a food critic, if you're a competitive eater, you need to practice your stomach, you need to practice your video editing and food photography skills. You take it very seriously, hence the name, serious leisure. So hobbyists are in that category. So there's 6 qualities that set it apart. You need to persevere, and there's this thing called the leisure career. So there's like a skill tree. You need to get better at it. It requires effort to learn. You don't just enjoy it the way you enjoy food. There are durable benefits, which, in other words, they're just things that you gain. Like if you're an artist, you draw, you gain a painting out of that. So or it can be something abstract like enjoyment. And there's a unique ethos. So it's like a shared social group, a community of practice, and a social identity. Like, oh, I dabble in watercolors. I'm a watercolor artist, or like this, I'm part of this Pump It Up group where they're enthusiasts. So image could not be shown. There's an arrow pointing there. But anyway, Next slide. And there's also this thing called personally meaningful information activities. So it's something you do out of choice, out of personal value, and not because you're like forced to do it. Like if you're hungry, you have to eat. But this, you do it out of choice, like, oh, I want to eat. But it's not necessarily leisurely. Like Bible reading, marathon running, those were examples I saw. It's not leisurely. Like if you read the Bible, you do it because it means something to you, right? If you marathon run, it's not always like, oh, it's fun. Sometimes it's hard. You get tired. So there are 4 characteristics there. So it's part of who you are. It's something doable. It makes you want to learn more about it, and you feel in the zone. So there's also flow, but I didn't cite it there because it's gonna be like a rabbit hole. Anyway, next slide is so personally meaningful information activities is why the activity is meaningful to you. Serious leisure is how you do it. So something can be serious without being meaningful. Something can be meaningful without it being serious. So like the food example earlier. But when they combine, when a personally meaningful thing is your leisure activity, so when you're doing something fun, like in the arcade, you can just play the game, right? But some people, they go all in. They're competitive players. They take it personally. So it changes how you engage with the activity, right? So you can play it like as a hobby. Oh, it's fun. Or it can be part of who you are. Like, this matters to me. I'm an arcade rhythm game player, and I'm going to come back even if I spend 800 pesos on time zone credits. I don't care. So in the next slide. So what happens when a serious leisure activity becomes personally meaningful? So I coined, it's a mouthful, so I coined it personally meaningful leisure activity, so we don't have to say that whole line. So it's an information activity that's both personally meaningful and pursued as a leisure practice. So in my case, see that spin? That took me months. It doesn't look impressive, but it took me months. So it became my personally meaningful leisure activity when I started going out of my way. I would go to the mall just to play that game. I would spend money, and I would look really dumb. but I didn't care because it's meaningful to me now. It's not just an ordinary game. So in the next slide, so why is it good for autoethnography? So here's the thing. When an activity is personally meaningful, embodied, and it's a serious leisure thing, which involves skill, perseverance, you can best understand it by being in the body doing it. Because if you ask someone to explain it to you, it's hard for them to explain. But if you're actually experiencing it yourself, it's easier, I guess. So it's perfect for sensory autoethnography. I'm almost done. Don't worry, guys. So in the next slide, so why sensory autoethnography? Because the game itself, I chose that game for sensory autoethnography because like it's a mix of information cues. So it's documentary. You see the chart, you see the music, you see the scores. Over there, you see the scores. It's sensory, the noise of the arcade, the lights. You feel tired, you feel sweaty, you feel the steppy step. It's emotional, like, oh, I missed, hurry, I passed, so you feel it. It's also social, because other players are there, and, ew, do I look weird? People are watching me, you feel it. So, I guess, it's just an idea, don't be hard on me. So, next slide, it's almost done. So, this is a bonus idea. So, the body receives and reacts to information, it also acts as a source of information. So, social informal learning, I don't know. So, that's just a bonus, it's almost done. Next slide. So that's pretty much all I've got. So for summary time, personally meaningful information activity, identity, central practice, curiosity and presence, serious leisure, it requires effort, skill building, progression, community and social world durable benefits. So if you add the two together, it's good for that. Okay, that's it. Oh wait, I forgot. Yeah, so this is, I'm still at the research proposal stage. It's like very, very early on. So I'm not even done with LIS 300A, so very early days. Yeah, that's all. Thank you.
Thank you very much for that very energetic and the vibes.
The vibes
are very strong. So maybe we can have a few comments.
Super interesting work. I think anything that takes information studies out of text is important, and we don't see it enough. So I just have a couple of sources to offer you because I'm a librarian. First is there's a great organization in the US called the Video Game History Museum, and they do a lot of work, legacy games and how to hold on to them, preserve them, archive them. So if anyone is like really interested in Pump It Up, that's like a bonus idea. The other thing is looking for disciplines where the body is the site of analysis. So as you were talking, I was thinking about sports studies as a field where there's a lot of work around identity formation in relation to the body. So I would just encourage you to take a look at some of the sports sciences journals. But really exciting work. I can't wait to see it.
Hello.
I really enjoyed your presentation.
So fun.
See, research can be fun, right? I mean, I always tell my students that if you're having a hard time looking for a topic, I would just tell them, just do whatever you want to do. If you're interested in, dancing, singing, watching K-drama, just go ahead, okay? And that's what you're doing, what you're actually doing, and I'm so happy to see this. I'm a big fan of ethnographic studies, especially autoethnography, because as I said yesterday during our session, this is an area which is underexplored in the field of information studies. We like to study people's perceptions, we like to study texts, we like to study documentary sources, but we never talk about our feelings. We never talk about our experiences as if it's a very dangerous boundary. So it's nice that you're opening up yourself, and at the same time you're very open to talk about your experience, your feelings, etc. And so congratulations. I really, really like this topic, and especially the serious leisure one, and then the personal and meaningful information activity, CMIA. So I'm really looking forward to seeing the final output of this. I'm sure you will pass your LAS 300A. I will be there.
I love your presentation. Yeah, it's
Yes.
very energy and interesting. That I have.
Like that.
Yeah. And I'm curious, how would you design classification scheme or metadata point that to organize this non-documentary information during gameplay, and so that I can use your data.
I think there's a way to there's a record of all your past games, if you passed, if you failed, what your score is. If I check my phone, there's actually a gameplay card where all of your data is recorded. So if you want my gameplay data to see me improve through the months, you can have it.
Or you can design it
Yeah.
with us.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, because she's a knowledge organization.
Oh.
Yeah, so all right, thank
Thank
you.
you.
Thank you so much, Francis.
Yay!
Research can be fun, as mentioned by Professor Ira. You want to talk about your feelings today? So, all right.